What's up, world? How you doing? You know, I realize the older I get that this life is about enjoying it, reaping what you sow and harvesting and planting good seeds and leaving a legacy behind. So I feel like that's what I want to do. I always knew since a child that I wanted to grow up, and inspire others and help them out, help them grow by my own personal experience because I'm an observer. And I would sit around and watch people from all walks of life, my family members, my mom's friends, everybody's vices, choices, decisions. And I always knew at a young age, okay, I'm a product of my environment, but I have to find a way to make this work for me. And I just feel like I've been through so much, trauma, even as a child, with being sexually assaulted at a young age, it's a lot of kids that's dealt with that, young girls that's been traumatized, even having identity issues, trying to figure out what works for me. Like, do I like this? Do I like that? Don't worry about what I like. Just like what I like. And I was confused growing up because I knew that I loved God, but I also knew that I struggled with homosexuality. So I was already conflicted at a young age. And I thank God for the opportunity to know who He is so that I was able to keep Him with me through life. I'm super grateful for my experiences. I used to dwell in them and feel like, why me, why me, why me, why me? Now I'm like, yes, God, why not me? Why not me? Why not let me be the voice and the inspiration and the demonstration showing that anything is possible and tangible, showing that God can make it happen. He can move mountains, I've just been through a lot, man. Even from going into middle school, like I was always a great kid, good grades, always a great kid. I struggle with my weight too. Like if you look at some of my older pictures, I was a little on the plus side. I think I would eat out of depression or overeat out of emotional, or because I had a great household. My mom did what she could as a single mom. I'm very proud of her, like what she was able to endure. And I know she needed ways to channel and let out her emotions and, being a single mom, a young mom, and just knowing how to deal with her anger, finances, her life, still living, enjoying life while we are living and enjoying life, so it's definitely been something that I can say, I appreciate. And sometimes I feel like I'm a little hard on my mom. Like sometimes I be like expecting her to do more, expecting her to be more, expecting her to have all this figured out. And the older I get, I realize I still don't got it figured out. How can I expect her to have it figured out while raising two adults as a baby? So that's just unfortunate. I'm actually proud of her, and I don't know if I tell her enough. We've had a lot of differences. My mom, I remember when I was using the restroom one day and my mom caught me peeing standing backwards, and she was like, what the hell is you doing, Shakira? And I was like, Mom, I'm just experimenting. Of course I was on punishment. We're not gonna talk about that into details, but yeah, man, my mom knew at a young age. I think she just was maybe wanted more from me. I know she wants to be a grandmom, so I don't think she knew back then how that would work, and she knew she didn't raise me in sin. So it's cool, it's my choice. It's what I prayed and asked God to help me with, but I also know to live in my truth and be free. But I appreciate her, and I remember one day when I was washing dishes and I was doing a half-ass job, and my mom was like, Shakira, you better clean up and wash those dishes. She was like, cause don't no man want no dirty woman who won't clean up and cook. Then she paused for a minute, little hesitation, then she was like, and don't no woman want no dirty woman either. Oh my gosh, you don't know what went through my body at that time. Like I was like, wow, my mom knows. She just, cause they say all parents know a mom know their child. So it's not that I tried to hide it from her. I was just, You know, I didn't want to disappoint her or let nobody down. My godparents, my people who believed in me. But I over the years, man, like I have this song called Side Effects. It's on one of my first mixtapes. I just realized that my people love me no matter what. I still continue to keep God first and be a good person and have a good heart. And I want people to see me and respect me first before anything else. So, you know, I thank my mom for still raising me right and making me have morals no matter what decisions I chose, because a parent can't control that. You know, they can only do their best. You know, and so yeah, man, my childhood was fun. A lot of outside. I just miss. I knew I was always a tomboy. I will be outside. I love to be at my dad's shop. He got Sound Express on Hillsborough, so music shop. They do installations. You know, I had my first business at my dad's shop. I set up a hot dog stand up there. He set me up. He the first person to teach me about re-upping a profit and saving it. You know, so shout out to my dad for even instilling that business mindset at a young age, so I could navigate knowing that I don't want to just be the worker. I want to be the boss. I want to be the leader. I want to be a student and a coach. You know, so I was booming. I would take that money I made and buy my school clothes or any extra things I wanted. So I appreciated that. My dad also is the first person to get me in the studio. Like, I was like 8 or 9, and he got me my first manager, Be Real. I love Be Real so much, Be Real. You know, we had a short run, maybe like a good year, because my mom and dad got into things, and she didn't want me going out to the studio late night at such a young age, and he wasn't handling out his responsibilities. It was just so much back and forth. You know that co-parenting, but it still doesn't work in the child benefit. You know, so, but then again, I'm thankful that I had that experience at a young age, dropping my first tape about school and, you know, life and things, because, you know, I knew that I needed to learn the business. I didn't want, come on, think about it. I'm too talented to be such a kid, and there was so much advantage could have been taken care of. So, like I said, sometimes God says delay but not deny. And his delay is really a detour for something greater, always. So now as an adult, I can appreciate that didn't work out, but I'm still happy for the foundation. Yeah, in middle school, I was dealing with my anger and my emotions and things like that, and that's how I ended up in the CDC program or youth center for anger. And I remember I got into an altercation at school, and they brought the wrestling coach in to review the fight and what happened, because they felt like I used extra, you know, energy and anger, and it wasn't unnecessary. And, you know, at the time, I was just a young kid. I had so much in me, so many big dreams. You know, I just knew all I really needed was resources and grace and opportunity. So, you know, I definitely appreciate that. Also, just you know, not, I was expelled. My godparents helped get me back in school. My mom, they wrote the board. Like, I've always had a village. And I can appreciate that, because having a tribe at a young age is so important. And when I see kids out here that's lost and they don't know how to channel and have an outlet, or they don't know God, or they don't know, they just existing and not living, or not, you know, it frustrates me. You know, but I'm happy I was able to get it right. Like I said, all the teachers that was hands-on with me. I went to Young Middle School my entire 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. You know, man, what was her name? Mrs. Scott. Oh, I got to do some research. But I had some cool teachers. I had some cool mentors. And I'm just grateful, like, for my tribe, you know. And I was able to get through middle school and graduated, left middle school with a scholarship, because my grades and my GPA was so good. I had a scholarship, you know. And shout out to my godfather. Like, you know, you have a father, and then you have a dad, and then you have like a sperm donor. And I must say, you know, my father, he's a businessman. He's there when he can. He's attentive when he can. When I call him, he's there for me. But my godfather, oh my God, he's hands-on. He's showing up. He's answering any time of the night. He's calling. He's checking in. He's letting you know. You know, it's just different. you know, and I appreciate him so much. Even at a young age, you know, he knew I struggled with my weight. He would always encourage me to do sports. Even when he know as a child, I would be like, I can't put that extra stress on my mom trying to get to school, her get to work, get home, start dinner, you know, and me having extra things going on. And, you know, at the time, I didn't even realize how much extra I was adding on to her till now. And she managed and she did it. And, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate him. As a child, like middle school and high school, honestly, my outlet was the church. I would literally go to church to get away, to have an outlet, to be around love, to, you know, and I appreciate those different components because it gave me street, church, religion. It just gave a bunch of different things, you know. Hold on, I'm gonna call you back.